Yes, hello everyone. Hare Krishna, and welcome to our next um, episode and recording of Yoga Chanties series. Today we have Karolina, and we're going to talk about living in goodness, the three modes of nature, and then why we need to live in goodness. So, welcome, Karolina, Yoga Chanty, and welcome, Aishwarya. We had a series with Aishwarya on breathwork, and we did that last week. So, we will continue going back and forth. Today, we're going to discuss the three modes of nature. So, Carolina, I will dive into your introduction in a second. But do you just want to tell us what this picture is? Why these ladies are flying all over the screen? Are they trapeze artists at a circus? Because that's what it reminds me.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you for inviting me today. So this pictures, it means the picture of the three gunas, actually. So we can see lady in the yellow, in the red, and in the dark blue. So this is the three modes of nature, and it shows how they act to the people and how they actually control the people.
Okay, so this is the control person like me, and then they are basically controlling me. Okay. I get that. Okay. Okay, Kevin. I can see you're in the mode of goodness because you're speaking nice and soft. You might want to, speak up a little bit. So for those who are more in the mode of passion like me. So okay, so here we go. So there's an introduction on Carolina. She's a medical worker in the city in New York. She's a doctor by education, and of course, she's been in the field of education, the field of medicine for 10 years. So she's been studying that. So as we saw last year, while we were talking about Aishwarya's breathwork, and Carolina had some valuable contributions related to the hemoglobin, right? So the blood. So anyway, so member, she's also a member of the mantra meditation team, which actually does kirtan, right? Is this the same one, Carolina, that you're referring to, or something else? Okay,
Yes.
no, same one. Yep. Yeah, they do kirtan at different yoga centers. I think they had one last night at Serenity, if I remember correctly. Yep. So yeah, thank you, Carolina. So we will dive into your slides. So with that being said, we'll get into the three modes. So you want to walk us through?
Yes. So let's talk what is it mode of goodness. And we have a verse from the scripture from the Bhagavad Gita which says, "The mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating and it frees one from all sinful actions. Those situated in that mode becomes conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge." So the main characteristic of this guna is happiness and knowledge. And so in this mode of material nature is purer than others, and um, people in this knowledge they acceptable to the knowledge, to the self-improvement knowledge, and uh, they're peaceful, they have peace of mind and happy.
Okay, so when you say, okay, I can understand being happy, but also I see a word here saying becoming conditioned by a sense of happiness, and it reminds me of something I heard before this Zoom session, which I'll come to. But what does it mean by condition? I thought that being in the mode of goodness, generally, as I used to think, is actually a good thing. So could you just explain that a bit?
Yes, so as the three modes of nature, goodness is one of those, and it's mode of material nature. And so all material nature is conditioned us. And mode of goodness also condition us because beyond is there is something higher, as the scripture says, as I believe. So that we actually can free from all gunas of material nature. But the easiest to do it from the mode of goodness. And so the knowledge and happiness, it's also condition us because we starting to think ourselves wiser than anybody else. We start to enjoy our happiness, and that's how we put ourselves in the center, and we keep stay in a mode of goodness. We don't we don't liberate from all the modes.
Okay. Okay.
Good.
So you're saying we get into this, sense of little bit of pride. We, we are a little proud that we have this,
Yeah.
the supreme, this knowledge, maybe the scriptures, maybe just someone who's doing a PhD, right? Even that could be a little bit of more of goodness compared to someone who is just on the um, streets because of not being able to, keep it together for work and so on. So, okay. So, right. That makes sense.
And let's go to next guna of passion. In Sanskrit, it's Rajaguna, and the Bhagavad Gita says that the mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings. O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. So the guna of passion, it starts with the desires for something to achieve, some material desires. For example, we want to have a nice house, nice family, we want to have a good job. This is all our desires which make us be active and be active to achieve desirable things, and it bound us in these actions. We become very busy to get the fruits of our actions.
Got it. So something like, say, living in a city, like a busy, crowded place, being very passionate about your job, all that. So again, here I would like to point out that my common understanding was, that being passionate is generally good, but I guess given what you're saying and the scriptures, it basically means that too much of passion is not good. Okay.
Well, yeah, interesting to know that all world is 95% in mode of passion.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's 2%
95%
in
passion.
goodness, 2% in ignorance,
Hmm.
and it's usual for this world to be in passion.
Okay, good. I don't feel so bad now. All right. Okay. All right. And now, family one, ignorance.
And the ignorance or tamaguna uh, from Bhagavad Gita, it says that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The result of this mode are madness, indulgence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul.
Hmm.
So basically, that means that uh, mode of ignorance keep person in illusion, and one doesn't understand which is right, which is wrong, and keep one's lazy, sleepy, and bound wants to make mad things, like the
Hmm.
crazy things. Like for example, we go to sleep late. It's also kind of madness because it's harmful to us, to our body. So it's one of the crazy thing, which is somebody think it's normal. Um,
I see. So sleeping late, falls within the category of mode of ignorance. Okay. But what if you sleep late and get up early? I'm just being difficult on you. What if you do that? Suppose I sleep the recommended hours. I think it's, what is it, 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever, depending on your
Yeah, so
person, right?
this is mode of ignorance and mode of goodness together. Actually, all these gunas are mixed. There is no
Hmm.
just that we in passion or goodness. We have some percentage in our life of each gunas. And for example, like 70% passion, 20% ignorance, 10% goodness. So it means like they're mixed.
Okay. Okay. So it's something like the, primary colors. You have a little bit of some red and yellow, you mix that, and then like blue and so on. Okay. That makes sense. I think the your first slide, it makes more sense now, having more than one of those divine ladies or personalities controlling us at the same time. It's not just one of them basically being pulled by all three strings differently. Okay. All right. Yeah, and I just wanted to share an example that I heard from Gaur Sharan Das. He does a Bhagavad Gita course at the Bhakti Center. So he was explaining that these three modes are actually compared to three different traps. So the goodness is actually a gold trap, the passion is a silver trap, and and ignorance is basically an iron trap, a trap of iron, literally. So, and again, there I had a similar thought and a question: why would goodness be a gold trap? So, I think what you're saying, it ties into that same thought that the goodness also taken to an extreme is not really the best thing in this world. So if I mean, just for me and our viewers, I'm going to go very quickly to the first slide that you had, if I can. And I just wanted to look at that one. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so three, yep. So yeah, I remembered right. So there was more than one person controls. And I think looking at this, probably who's in the mode of goodness here? Is that a person who's bowing down? Or probably more.
No, this is more to in a good of ignorance.
Okay, got it. Got it. Okay. Oh, I see. Re- they're not related to each other here. It's just two different people being depicted. That seems
But I
like.
think they both in all three gunas, like as I mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're right. Excellent. Yep. Thank you. Okay, so let us move on to the. Let's see. We had introduction. We did this. Okay. Did you want to move on to the next slide?
Yeah, we can go to the next slide.
Okay. Here we go. All right.
Uh,
Nice.
so yeah, so this is slide just to see on example on the illustration and to understand more what means each guna. And so we see the main qualities of sattva guna, which is balance, harmony, positive, peace, clarity, light, openness, intelligence. And we can see the very peaceful man sitting in lotus pose. And the
Hmm.
Rajaguna or passion, the main quality is movement, activity, energy, passion, desire, agitation, anxiety. And this person we can see uh, he is in stress, right? Because the
Mm-hmm. Yep.
mode of
Yeah, he definitely
passion
seems
makes
like
him
like he's
very active
gonna
and
pull his hair out. That seems.
right, right. It's usually yeah, people in a passion very stressful and active.
Hmm.
And mode of ignorance, you can see the one is lazy, inert, inactive, apathy, dark, depression. And so actually, also want to mention that um, whoever in each guna, they accept world indifferent. So for example, one in who in a mode of ignorance, he see other people who in different guna like crazy. So
Mm-hmm.
like so who is in a passion, they see them as a fool that work too hard, because he's not working, he can just leave, like get some benefits from the governments and enjoy as he think. And those who in mood of goodness, they think of them like also crazy people do some unnecessary stuff, like some people which are in a sect, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the same for the those who mode of passion, they see other people, um, for example, if we're in ignorance that they were very awful, they are crazy, basically. So
Well, you
they
don't want to
believe
be around them.
in
You
they
don't want to
believe
be
in
around them.
their own happiness, and they
Mm.
believe that they're they're right, they're on the right
Okay.
position.
Okay. Except for maybe for Simpsons, I think it was a good show. But anyway, but yeah, but I can see what you mean. So here actually I have a thought and a question. So again, going back to last time we talked with Aishwarya Devi about breath work and maybe even I think we touched on briefly about focusing on breath, right? So so here I can see here one of the points for tamas and ignorance is basically inertia, which means you don't move, you're sluggish, slow, or or it could even mean that you're not doing anything at that time, right? And I know that the yoga has this thing called movement. I think that's one of the classes they teach, like yoga movement, right? So breath and movement. So how to interpret that? Is that a good form of movement and a good form of inertia and stillness? And is this a negative meaning? Is that how we have to understand it?
is a question to me, right?
Actually, to both of you, all,
Right.
just to see what you'll
Aishwarya.
feel about it.
Okay,
Just gonna open it up. Yeah.
maybe Aishwarya can answer.
Um, okay, so Prabhu, like the way I have understood so far, like
Mhm.
from my studies, etc., was that uh, helps you to little bit increase your rajas. Like, you from tamas, like you are in a tamasic state when you sleep,
Mhm.
and early in the morning when you come into rajasic state by doing some exercises, etc. And breath work little bit helps you to elevate your mode. That was the sattva mode.
Mm.
So that is what I've heard from my teachers, like from tamasic to rajas to sattva. And it becomes really difficult directly from tamas to come. It's difficult.
Okay. 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 Cut out a bit there, but I think you're trying to say that, okay, to go directly from to jump from the tamasic to sattva is a big jump. So you have to gradually progress.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So you still need all that meditation, stillness to get into good movement, and then to balance and positivity and everything else we see. It's a
Yes, yes.
progression. Okay. Great. That makes sense. Perfect.
I also can add that actually the Tamaguna and Satvaguna, have something similar too. They are not completely different because there's inactivity, this the similarity, but it depends on the so who is in the Satvaguna, their mind is pure and enlightened, even though they externally they do nothing. They meditate, for example, right?
Hmm.
It can seem the same in the Tamaguna who do nothing, just sit, but they actually they are not peaceful and they can be in depression. So
Okay.
it depends on the mindset.
Okay. Okay. So maybe I'm sitting calmly in a yoga lotus pose, but I'm thinking really like how to destroy my colleague at work. Something like
Right.
that. Okay, fine. Yep, yep. So yeah, I mean, just talking about work, I think I had a real stressful work week this week. And I was thinking it's so much, I don't even know what mode to put it under. It was more like a hellish mode beyond all this. So I mean, sometimes we get into that, right? Because there's so much of work pressure, and then we're expected to perform at the same time. It's conflicting. Like what we think is the best thing may not be what is the corporate, you know, line of judging that. So anyway, so it's a lot of going on. So I think you're right. It's a combination of all these going on constantly, but mostly I think it's Rajas and the Tamas modes. I don't think there's a lot of goodness going on there, unless you have to really struggle and come out of it. Anything else, Carolina, on this slide?
If no questions, we can go to next slide.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm sure I'll come up with something. Maybe once you do the next one, I might have something else. Okay, so let's. All right, look at that. Okay.
Okay, so we have the conductors of gunas. So this
Mm-hmm.
is the things which have a main influence to us. To depends on what we are on the mode of goodness, ignorance, or passion. So this is from the scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, which says that there is 10 conductors of gunas. So first is the scriptures, water, association, place, time, activity, origin, meditation, chanting of mantras, and purification ceremonies. And actually, we're gonna talk more detail about each of mainly things in our next sessions. More like, for example, about association, about plate and time. We're gonna have a topic about the lifestyle and about meditation. We're gonna talk to about the mantra meditation.
Nice. That looks good. Yep, yep, for sure. These are all just it's a trailer into each of these aspects that we'll go into. So meditation, chanting. I think there was one verse from the Bhagavatam, I believe, where it mentions something about touching water and starting. I think it's probably one of those those stories or instances where they release a bow, probably the Brahmastra, I'm thinking. So something like that. So where someone touched water, maybe it was Arjun. So he touched water and then he takes up the bow. So I think the touching water has a lot of significance. And as I think you have this in picture of water, so probably this is definitely something I think we'd all be interested in knowing about. We're all supposed to hydrate and so on. A lot
Yeah,
of
we're
things
gonna
there.
talk about the water too in the next sessions.
Okay, great. Great. Let me move on to the next one.
Yeah, so examples. As we mentioned, the gunas of material nature, they pervade in everything in our life. And for example, food, place, lifestyle, activities, causes, association. And I can give some example to better understand each guna. For example, activities, right? So mode of goodness, one who works, who is active out of duty. Um, this is characterized for mode of goodness. For mode of passion, ones who work for self-gratification. And in ignorance is the one who doesn't work at all and just living, for example, on benefits,
Mm.
just activities. And we can say which example you want me to explain more.
Well, maybe yeah. So it's like it's something like that wheel, you just pick one, like they spin a wheel in that show, right? And then you pick one. So maybe I don't know, like probably I have questions about food and lifestyle. So maybe if you can pick those two.
Food and life. Okay, so
Because I generally thought that, lifestyle being in a good lifestyle is what we would normally want to do.
yeah, about the
Yeah.
lifestyle, we're gonna have the all session, but
Okay.
I will explain shortly. And food, we also gonna have about food. So food in goodness is food which all tastes are in balance, right? We know there's sour taste, there's spicy taste, there's sweet taste, and other six tastes.
Hmm.
So it's the all tastes are in balance, and it's mainly vegetarian food. In mode of passion is or too spicy food or too sweet food, too fried, like too much some taste to for purpose to enjoy the senses. And in mode of ignorance, it's for example not fresh food, spoiled food, or it's meat also in mode of ignorance, alcohol, um, the one who has a bad smell, and
Mm.
the lifestyle. About the lifestyle, so lifestyle in a goodness is when the person live on the nature and growing food on its territory and maintain themselves on thanks to the nature, and one is satisfied with it. He doesn't need any fancy stuff. He lives simple life on a simple house. And mode of passion, there's two variants. For example, one variant it's living on the nature in a big house, uh, but not simple house. The big house, very fancy house, which makes you work hard to maintain this house and to go
Yeah.
for work, to drive long distance to work all day, and basically not living in this house on the nature, but living on the work and
Hmm.
work hard for maintain the house. Or another example in passion, it's living in a city, in a big city, in apartment complex, where it's always busy and whereas people working a lot, making big money. And in a mode of ignorance, this is when the house is like a bar or public house, or for example, living on the streets.
Okay. So that's how you would classify the place, the living, the lifestyle compared to the food. Okay, so if I'm really specifically looking for a spicy chili taco or something, that would be considered more of ignorance
That's
slash
passion.
passion. That's passionate. Okay. Okay, got it. All right, excellent. Okay. Yes, I did have a couple, but yeah, would definitely like to and be interested in going deeper into these subjects, like you said, in upcoming weeks and sessions.
Okay.
Okay, should I move on to the next one?
Go to next slide. Yeah.
All right.
So this is as a conclusion, we can say why why mode of goodness is the best of all three modes. So one becomes happy, enlightened, and able to see things in right position. And I can also add that in the mode of goodness, why each become happy, because his knowledge he has knowledge of why everybody suffers, and he understands that the mode of goodness, they more or less free from sinful reactions, and they have peace of mind, and then they're not much affected by material miseries.
Okay. Okay. So they're in this position where they are actually, happy probably internally, and then you're able to just see everything in the right perspective.
Yeah,
Because of our internal state, we can actually view things as what they really are. Okay.
and all the purpose of the course is how to increase mode of goodness. So if we can see that is beneficial, and how we can increase mode of goodness, as it's just 2% in the world, and um, based on the conductors, how we can improve each of our part of life to become more of goodness.
Got it. Okay. So basically, progress from that to the other, like Aishwarya was saying earlier, say progress from the mode of ignorance to the mode of goodness. Okay. Perfect. I think we just have thank you and questions. So, yeah, I think while I was looking at that, I was remembering your introduction slide and your picture. So that might be the pure mode of goodness then, in a natural nature setting, happy, just beyond, above the mode of ignorance, above the mode of passion.
I'm
So
working on it. I'm just trying to be more in goodness as you too.
I think you're doing a great job of it. So Carolina, is there something beyond the mode of goodness? Like I think I'm just jumping back and forth here, but if we see here, you're saying this is a teaser into why we need to go to the good mode of goodness and what's out there. But is there something beyond?
Yeah, so one can decide actually, or if he just stay in the mode of goodness, or he can go beyond. And actually, from the mode of goodness, the same as you cannot switch each guna, for example, from ignorance, you cannot uh, be right away in goodness. You have to go first to the passion and then go to the goodness. The same to transcend all goodness, you have to be in a goodness. So from goodness,
Hmm.
there is the pure goodness or Shuddha Sattva, which is out of material world, which
Shuddha
is
Sattva. Okay.
the,
Yep. So more
and
of the
actually it's when it's we are connected to ourself, to our soul, and to our super soul, and the God.
okay, great. Isn't this also what is referred to in the Bhagavad Gita as a mode of transcendence?
Yeah,
Shuddha
it's all,
Sattva.
yeah. I'm not talking about from myself. This is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita,
Okay.
Vedic scriptures.
Okay. So from I think from what I was told, the activities like kirtan, the ones that you're involved in at this that's mantra meditation in New York, reading the scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. I think these fall under the mode of Shuddha Sattva because they actually help us transcend, correct?
Yes, yeah, you can say that. There's also actually the scriptures in different modes too. Scriptures like a Bhagavad Gita, like a Srimad Bhagavatam, they are transcendental
Mm.
because they're talking about uh, our relationships with Supreme and ourself, how to understand ourselves.
Okay. Okay, so these are actually because they help us to go deeper, understand ourself, our own internal, being. So these scriptures help us there. Okay, great.
Yeah, and I
Anything?
think we have
Mhm.
other classes in Yoga Chanti channel about that transcendental things, right? Maybe with Gaurav
Yes, yes,
or
absolutely.
other speakers that everybody can join.
Excellent suggestion. And actually, excuse me, I was thinking about that just as I mentioned, I was hearing where Gaur Prabhu was actually talking about the different modes. I was thinking that we should definitely have him on. Maybe next time, I don't know. I'll have to see his schedule, but if it works, then that would be nice for us to hear, for our viewers to also understand this from the perspective of someone who lives these scriptures. So, yeah. Do you have anything, Aishwarya, on this topic? Any questions? Any
Yes,
points?
yes. Wonderful slides, Carolina. I just loved her explanation, her understanding about modes of nature from scriptural point of view. And she was trying to connect Shastras with these modes of main explanation. I just had this question actually. It may be a wrong question sometimes I feel, but sometimes like we in a day we feel that we go through a lot of emotions. In the morning we may be positive. After some time we may be too much like into work. Like a workaholic, and in the evening we may feel little bit negative. So we tend to see sometimes that our emotions keeps on fluctuating throughout the day. So, can we say that the modes of nature are also fluctuating?
Yes, for sure. For the question, very good question. It's for sure it's changing all the time as it's changing of percentage
Mhm.
of modes. And actually, we're also going to speak about the time. There's particular time of which guna. For example, the morning time is for the mode of goodness,
Wow.
and the daytime for mode of passion, and the nighttime we could say when we sleep it's mode of ignorance. So as you said, you're changing moods. Like everybody else, we have changing moods, right? So depends on the time. I also noticed that, like you said, in the morning you feel better, right? And in the night because of the time influence. And in so time is also under gunas. So
Okay.
that's why we have these switches of
Wow.
emotions.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So probably something like I've heard people say that I'm just having a bad day. We all have that. So that means that day I'm just under the modes. So I think those days, I think different mode just takes over the entire day sometimes, and then it's difficult to come out. Or maybe some days we would be lucky to be completely trapped in the mode of goodness. At least it's better than the mode of ignorance. Maybe we even transcend beyond, like you said. So going to the mode of Shuddha Sattva, which is the ultimate goal. Um, this is great. Any closing thoughts? Any other comments? Anything you wanted to summarize, Carolina? We close out.
Well, yes, same as you mentioned, it's depends on the day and like on the time. It's not that's stable. It's not everything stable in this world. So we have different days, we have different moods, but we can say in a general, right? Depends on our intention, on our happiness perception, in what guna we are, what the most guna are in our life.
Got it. Excellent. And again, looking forward to diving deeper into this in future sessions of Yoga Chanti. Thank you very much, Carolina. All right. Thank you, Aishwarya.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.